Why PreFlight exists? Actually, let's start with that. When I actually came to the United States, I wanted to establish my own business, and then I applied to YC a couple of times, and then it didn't happen. And then after my master's, I actually said, okay, I need to get into a YC company, and then I got into ShipHub. So ShipHub is also another YC company. Luckily, I was the first engineer there. And then from there, I actually hired over 40 engineers at ShipHub, and we scaled a lot. And what happens is when you scale that fast, things start to break. I mean, obviously. And then I said, oh, this is actually a big problem. I mean, before that, we actually sit down with my team, 6 people, and then we created Selenium tests. We created over 100 Selenium tests. And then after a month later, we threw them away. So 2 months of 6 engineers' time. We lost 2 months of time, and we lost a lot of money at ShipHub. And also, we hired like 2 QA engineers at ShipHub. It took, I think, 6 months to get to 10% test coverage. And then we also threw them away because it wasn't enough. We needed 2 QA engineers for each team. So that's what happened. And then I realized, okay, I need to do this. I need to create a system that you can actually generate the UI tests under a minute. So it would actually save you time and money, hopefully. So that's why I actually created PreFlight. So do you guys have any questions there? I can actually quickly overview the PreFlight as well. But if you have any questions, please go ahead.
Sure. One thing, Mustafa. People might not be familiar with YC. Y Combinator is a pretty big deal, right? So please share a few words about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So YC, I actually didn't know until I came here. So YC is the biggest seed incubator. So if you heard of Airbnb, Dropbox, DoorDash, like there are a lot of big companies from YC. Actually, there's YC top 100 ones. Actually, let's take a look at that. A window. Do you guys see my screen? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, over the combination of their total value is $400 billion. And they have like Airbnb, DoorDash, Coinbase, and Dropbox, like most of the, PagerDuty, the things that you might know. Stripe, actually, that's the #1, and Instacart, like Brex. They have a lot of companies like Reddit, Zapier. You might have heard any of those. But yeah, this is, so YC actually gives you 150K or 120K. When we actually applied, there were like 11,000 applicants, 11,000, and then they only picked 250 companies. So the acceptance rate is around 2%. I've applied 6 times actually, and it's the biggest one. When you get into there, it gets a little bit easier with the marketing and raising money as well. If you have ideas and you're trying to apply, just let me know. I can try to help as well. I talked to someone who actually got interview. Hopefully he can get in as well. He's one of our customers. We'll see how it goes. So that's about it. Do you guys have any questions around YC or anything? Yeah, please go ahead. Okay. I will go over the PreFlight dashboard then if you guys don't have any questions. So, yep, not this one. Okay. So here you see all the tests with the browsers, like sign up, update person. Right now we have Chrome, and it worked on Chrome at the moment, and we can actually run it on Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Edge. and Mac OS is also coming as well. So here we can actually get into this, but instead of getting into this, I would like to actually create a test for you. So as you know, UI automated tests are really hard to do. You either need Selenium or Cypress to actually automate your tests. With PreFlight, we can actually do that in under a minute. So I'm going to do once, and we're going to automate that, and then we can run it on different browsers like Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Edge. So what I'm going to do, I will open my CabinHR. So right now I'm trying to explain two unknowns. One is PreFlight, and then the other one is CabinHR. So CabinHR is a system that we have created for tests only. So this is a dummy website. We just want to make sure we can test our PreFlight application and show something tangible, if that makes sense. What I'm going to do, so as you can see, this is an HR system. You can actually manage people and teams, and some calendar and time offs, etc. Some documents as well. It's a very dummy website, web application, to be honest. So what I'm going to do, I would like to create a sign up test here. So why sign up? Because sign up is very common. Let's start with that, and then maybe we can afterwards do some other tests as well, if that makes sense. So I can actually open my extension here on the right top. If I click on this one, it will work on CabinHR or any other software or any other web application. You just need to install a Chrome extension. You don't have to do anything else. So if I do this one, I can actually start the test. When I start the test, it will start recording everything I do on this page. As you can see, it says, okay, go to this URL, and URL is app.cabinhr. So it actually is recording everything. As I said, I would like to record this sign up. There's a sign up link right here. I'll click on this. And as you can see, it actually recorded that one as well, sign up. So here, what we're going to do, we're going to fill out this form, first name, last name, email. We can randomize these. So it's always good to randomize things because you can actually later on check, okay, do I see the random value again? Yes. Then, okay, API actually works correctly, and then we receive the same data correctly, if that makes sense. So if I click on the first name input right here, we will see, okay, PreFlight actually detected this is the first name input, and it says, okay, we can actually generate a first name. So this means randomize the first name. If I click this, the first name, random first name is Pang in this case, so I don't even have to type anything. I just click things, and I can do the same thing for last name. If I click here, PreFlight will understand, oh, this is the last name. Would you like us to generate the last name? I'll click yes, and then Vero even in this case. And then if I click email address, we can do the same thing. I'll just generate the email address. But when we use a generated email address from PreFlight, this inbox here becomes active. So what I'm going to do, I will actually I'll put down my password as well, and then hit sign up. As you can see, everything is being recorded at the moment. And I will say sign up here. And then it says, okay, we sent you an email verification. So we should see it right here. Boom, we got the email. And then if I click on this guy, we can actually verify our email that we got in our randomized email address. And if I click here, this guy, we should see the email on this page. So we don't have to change any tabs. It shows up on the new same tab. And okay, we got, okay, verify your email for project something. And that is for CabinHR actually. And we got to the email address that we have generated randomly from PreFlight. So it tells us to click here to verify our email. So since we are signing up, I will click here to verify my email. And after that, as you can see, it's also being recorded, like open email, and I click on this link. If I click on the close, we can see the email verified successfully. So what I'm going to do, I will tell PreFlight to check, do we see this on the page or not? So that's the whole idea. So how easily we can do this, there's actually a checkpoint. So we call it, say checkpoint, because in the games, when you get to some point, it actually saves there. This is the same idea. If we get here and then if we see email verified successfully, when we run this test on other browsers, we want to see this one is on the page. So what I'm going to do, I will drag and drop this flag to the email verified successfully. And as you can see, it says, okay, I'm going to check the value of this guy, which is email verified successfully. I'll click on the email address, and then now I'm going to sign in, actually. Click here, and I'll put my password here. And then I'll just hit sign in. And then we were able to sign up successfully. As you can see, we see the randomized first name and a randomized last name here, which is paying very even. So what I'm going to do, I will create another checkpoint right here on the overview. And then we should see that PreFlight is going to check. We see the overview right here. So that means actually we were able to sign in successfully, and then we can see the dashboard. So what we have done in this test, so I have tested manually once, and then we have actually created an automated test at the moment. So so we have automated sign up, email integration, like email verification, and also sign in. So we have actually covered 3 cases here. If I finish the test and confirm, what's going to happen is I'll call this guy sign up, and I'll hit save. When I do this, it will actually take everything I just did, and it will run on a Windows 10 machine in the cloud. So you don't have to set up infrastructure as well. So as you can see, it's running on Chrome and laptop at the moment. Sorry, I skipped that one a little bit fast. So I'll just click on the screenshots right here, and we will see screenshots in real time here. I think real time is not working. I'll just refresh this page. Yeah, sorry. When you demo these things, it never works. So we will see some screenshots that is working at the moment. So as you can see, we see, okay, it actually clicked sign up. I didn't do anything. I'm just reviewing what is happening here. And then I went to the next step, which is randomize the first name, which is Jehan in this case. And Jukic, the last name, and email is something random as well. And then we see password. And then we are going to click on sign up. So here we will actually wait for the email to show up. So if I refresh this, so here after signing up, we actually see, okay, email actually opens up on the tab as well. So we are clicking on the link, and then we are actually going to see email verified successfully on the screenshot. I'm just passing through the screenshots if that's not clear. So we are actually verifying we see email verified successfully here. And then we will put our email address and then password here, and we'll hit sign in, and then we make sure overview is there. This test should be successful. And what we can do actually here, when the test is actually done, we can actually run it on different browsers as well. So we run it on Chrome, we can run it on Firefox, Edge. So this website is not working on Internet Explorer, so I'm not going to try that. It shows a blank page. And we will just say desktop, laptop, and tablet. So in this case, we will run on 3 different browsers and 3 different screen sizes, and then that will actually generate 9 test results. So you don't have to do this over and over again. So what's going to happen is it will actually do it for you right away. So we have a filter right here. I'll delete that to show you actually the others as well. So as you can see, it's already running on Firefox and tablet. Do you guys have any questions until now? Oh, please.
Actually, yes. If we change, for example, success message in code, should we change tests also?
So this is how it works. Yes, we actually tell you, okay, we found the checkpoint is not email verified successfully. It is now you verified your email or something like that. And then what PreFlight will say, okay, we saw some different message. Would you like us to update it automatically? It will actually do that automatically. So what I'm going to do, I can actually go to edit step here and then scroll down. And as you can see, checkpoint is right here. So we don't actually depend on selectors, even though we use them at the moment. I will show you a use case where we actually have a context awareness. It actually checks the page, it understands the page, and then it automatically adapts to the changes. I will do that as well. So here, let's just say we don't see this message anymore. We just say we just see email verified. And what's going to happen is some of the tests fail because we are expecting some different thing. And then what we can do actually, we will show right now everything is going like as successful. So some will fail. Okay, now we are working on Edge, and then we can, when the tests are actually over, we can actually also see the video. I opened Edge, so right now I can actually see the video as well. So it's running on Windows 10 machine, as you can see. We want to run it on Windows and macOS machines because we want to make sure we want to test how your users actually use your product. So that's the whole case. Now we will open the email on that virtual machine, and we will click on the email. As you can see, we got it, and we'll click there, and we'll make sure email verified is there. But in the next run, it will actually fail the test. So if you refresh this page, so some of them will fail. Let me close these. Yeah, okay. So as you can see, it actually failed now, and it says, okay, expected email verified, and result is email verified successfully. We can actually update the checkpoint real quick, and we will get reverted back to email verified successfully. And if I do that one, it will actually pass in the next test again, if that makes sense. So it's very less work to do. It says, okay, do you want us to run this test again with this update? We can say no, but what I'm going to do, I'll run it again on one browser to actually show you quickly instead of running on the multiple browsers. So yeah, right now it's actually working. Oops, I clicked somewhere else. So right now it's running on Chrome, but before, so yeah, we can actually make sure it actually shows up. I think we have time. So it will randomize first name, last name again, email. Right now we are seeing everything real time. I'm not doing anything at the moment. It is actually running a Windows 10 machine, and then it does everything for me. So we don't have to check all the time. So the good thing about this is we can actually create 100 tests on CabinHR and make sure everything is working in the staging environment before publishing that into the production, if that makes sense. Right now, we are going to verify email verified successfully. So as you can see, it's very less work to update things. And this guy is actually going to work. So I will close this one. And then what I would like to do, I'll go to the edit step and I will break something. And I would like to show you how it actually works. So as you can see, I went to the edit step here. And then there are like steps. Go ahead.
No, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we see the steps here. And then what we will do, I will actually break this selector, if that makes sense. So if I get here, and I can just delete all these, and I can say non-existing ID or something. And what's going to happen is we have computer vision in place and some OCR technology as well, but we have a better system actually. Those things are okay. It fixes the test sometimes. So if I click the element, we are actually looking at this element on this first name, but we also understand the page structure. Okay, we were looking at the first name input on the sign up page and then under sign up form, and then we will actually continue the test, if that makes sense. Even though I broke it, it should actually be successful. I'll run this test, and then right now it's going to run. So actually, instead of that, I'll actually open this guy and then see how the steps are actually coming through. So I open this one, and then right now we should see some screenshots here. As you can see, it opens this sign up. It will add another step in under here. So right now it is actually looking for the first name. Okay, something has changed. As you can see, element warning. Recorded element was on a different page, different location. We found, okay, let me open this up. Element should be on the page sign up. We also found it under sign up form again. And then we were looking for input with label first name. Actually, we found it with input with label first name in the sign up form. So as you can see, it actually adapt to the change. It realized that I cannot find non-existing ID because that's not on the page, and it will actually continue, and then this test should be successful actually after that. So yeah, we have actually put a lot of hours into this, but I'm glad it worked at the end. So the way we do this, we actually understand the page, how people do. We take a look at the boxes on the page and titles and buttons, how the buttons should be, etc. And then we actually adapt to the changes. Even though design changes completely, we actually adapt to the changes, if that makes sense. Do you guys have any questions around here? I can answer. I know it's a lot to take in, but I just want to show you some cool stuff, actually, to not make things
quick question, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the email feature is very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Right here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's kind of dummy setup. Anything we should know more about that? Is it as easy as it looks?
It's actually very easy, yes. Sometimes the only problem is when you send a code, it's actually very easy as well. But if you didn't put it in a like HTML tag, it's kind of hard for us to pick that, you know. So that's the hardest part at the moment. But other than that, it's actually very easy. It's very simple.
Mm-hmm. It's very cool.
Thank you. Any other questions? Do you guys have? If not, so the next one, I don't know how we should do this. We can actually take a look at more tests. How do you think we should do this one, guys?
Just one more question. So when you create, when you used randomized values for the input fields,
yes.
How did you know what value to use when you logged in again? I can't remember. Like you signed up first.
Oh, sign in?
Yeah. First you signed up using some randomized values, right?
Mm-hmm. So, yes, right here.
Yeah. So
if
did you remember that email address when you went to sign in again, or how was that?
So at the point before, actually, we were generating different email addresses all the time, and then we realized that's not the case. Actually, let's just use the same email address over and over again. So when you actually say, okay, I want to randomize it, but I want to use the email address I created again, that's what it does on this step. Actually, if I click here, as you can see, it is the same one, 017, and then here it was actually 017 as well.
Mm-hmm. And you simply typed in the same password both times.
Yes, I typed the same password. Yes, yeah. I did ASD in this case, a very dummy one.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. We can do one more example, or we can actually jump into something else as well. We can go into CI/CD pipeline, how we can set that up, if that makes sense. Yeah, let's just do that, if that's okay. Yeah, we have, I think, 30 minutes. And then under account settings, we can actually, if we get in here, there's an integrations, and we have already integrations with Slack. So when something fails, we can actually send you a Slack message as well. And then CI/CD pipeline, we have Travis CI, we have Bitbucket, GitLab, Jenkins, and Circle CI, and Azure DevOps. So the reason we have actually built this page is we want to make sure it's so easy for you to actually follow along. So let's say you guys are using GitLab. If I click on this one, it will actually tell you step by step what needs to be done on GitLab. So first say, okay, go to your GitLab account, obviously, and then look at your CI/CD pipeline. And then, okay, create a PreFlight ID and secret. So if I click this one, it will actually generate these. And then we can actually save this in GitLab as a secret. And then when you actually copy these, you actually are going to paste it on GitLab. And then we are actually going to create the YAML file for you as well. So let's say I want to run a test. So I can also run all tests. I can also run a group of tests. So I can actually run 10 tests or 15 tests or 50 tests or a client's tests in this case. It makes sense to sometimes say, okay, this actually built for client A, and then this actually built for client B. So when you have that one, you actually want to run only client A's tests. So in that case, you would come to group A, and you would probably pick client B or something right here. If you pick that, it will automatically update the script for you. So only thing you want to do is you actually want to copy and then paste it right there. We also have some other environments as well. So let's say you want to run on staging or dev, or it depends on your CI/CD pipeline. So it will be actually very easy actually as well. But in this case, I don't have GitLab actually, but I will show you how easy it is with the Azure DevOps. So if I go to the left, if I click here, it will actually tell me everything. Okay, under tasks, you can actually search. So if I come to Azure DevOps, so this is our actual CI/CD pipelines right here. If I go to pipelines, I can actually create a new pipeline, or I can actually get into some, yeah, let's just create a new pipeline. And then what I'm going to do, we can pick anything here, but what I'm going to do, I'll just use the classic editor right now. That also generates the YAML file as well, but I want to just quickly show it to you real quick. So I'll just click continue, and I'll say, okay, let's say we want to build some .NET Core web application. So I'll just apply this guy. And then let's say you have this already in place. What you want to do, you actually want to click on this guy right here, and then type PreFlight. And then here we can actually run or trigger your tests. So if you add this guy right here, and then it will ask for client ID and secret. So that is actually very easy. I'll go back to PreFlight and then generate the API keys, and I'll copy this one, and then I will copy the secret as well. So in this case, I want to run. Actually, I will go back and click on a test. So I will pick this sign up test actually we have created. So I can actually copy this one as well and get here, paste test ID. So I just want to run one test actually. We would like to capture the screenshots, and then we want to wait for results to actually show up here. So in this scenario, I'll just delete the others because I just want to make sure we just showcase the PreFlight run actually. And then remove. And I'll just save and queue. If I run this guy, pipeline is not valid. Couldn't. Okay. 1 second. So let's actually use GitHub because that's where our stuff is. So I can actually PreFlight CLI, let's say, select. Okay. Thank you one more time. Okay, well, but yeah, this is how easy it is. It will actually run one test. Sorry about that. I can actually quickly show you the webhooks as well. So it is very similar to webhooks. So I'll just say run sign up test, and I'll just create the webhook. And then on this one, I can, if I call this guy, it will actually run all the tests. So what I want to say, I will actually click on customize. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'll do it again. Sorry about that. It was a little bit fast. So I'll just click on customize right here. And I would like to run a group in this case. And then let's just say we are going to run client B on Chrome and Firefox and laptop. And I'll just use the default environment settings. If I save this guy, so obviously there's no test in under client B, I think. Yeah. So I will just go to all tests, and then I will put my sign up test under client B's group. And if I do that one, we'll obviously see that group here under client B. And we can actually trigger it from our webhook. If I go back to account settings, under webhook, if I actually copy this one right here, if I can also click on it. If I get here and then paste this guy, this will actually say, okay, your test run ID is this. We can actually do it from also GitHub as well. I can show you as well that one. So if I go back to PreFlight, all tests, so you will see that it is running on Chrome, Firefox for laptop. As you can see, it is running at the moment. Yeah, that's about it. And yeah, So under GitHub, it is actually very easy as well. If I go to GitHub, if I go to PreFlight dashboard and settings, so this is our dashboard actually. And then if I go to Webhooks, I can actually say when there's a PR, just trigger my sign up test on CabinHR. Add a webhook. And I can just say, that's about it. And then if you add a webhook right here, when there's actually something like there's a push, we are actually going to run our tests on sign up on CabinHR, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'll just delete this one. And yeah, that's about it. Do you guys have any questions?
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, we can actually get into Cypress. We can compare that one real quick as well.
Yeah.
So for that one, let me stop my screen. I hope I have that one set up on this PC.
Just one question. I saw you had some
Please.
screen sizes. Can you select mobile as well?
Yeah, sure. 1 second. Let's do it. Share. So I've actually picked it, and if I just close, and then I can actually run Firefox as well, and close this, and I run this test. So right now it is running on Chrome. I'll click on this one since this one is running. So we should see some screenshots in it. As you can see, the screen size is smaller than what it was. So it's actually working on that screen size. It will also open the email address here as well, as you can see, and it will click on that. And then we will just go through this sign-in process at this point.
Nice.
And what if we have different structure on mobile, for example? Can we set test steps only for one device?
So in this case, this is how our customers do. They actually create another test, and they call it mobile version. But we have some plans to I want to actually record only mobile version on this test. So it would actually stay at the same one. But they find it convenient to, there's a feed sound, I think. But yeah, that's how they do it. They actually create another test on mobile, and then that's how they record it at the moment, if that makes sense.
Is it possible to duplicate, to copy a test?
Yeah, absolutely. So if I go back and under all tests.
So you don't really have to re-record for mobile necessarily. You can duplicate and just tweak.
Yes, that's also possible. Oh, actually, I forgot to show you one thing, actually. Yeah, we can actually duplicate it here. And then it is actually coming here. What we can do, we have something called NoCode Editor. So I would like to show you that one real quick. So we have a copy of this. We can also run this guy as well. That will actually run at the moment. But I'll go back to the one that I have actually created. So it will do the same thing. So under any test result, I can actually pick an element at any point. I don't have to actually go into that and then record something. So what I will do, I'll open this guy since this is a bigger screen, so it will be a little bit easier for me. So if I go under editor, so this editor, we call it NoCode Editor. And this is the actual HTML snapshot at any point while you're running your steps. So we will see which one is running and which one we are doing, and then we can actually see how we move the mouse as well on our side. So this is actually the HTML structure. So what I want to do, I want to add a step at the end that I want to type in the search Frontkom or something. So that will be actually very good. So right now, the test was successful. As you can see, we checked the overview. So this is actually an HTML. So I can actually interact with this guy at any point. So I want to type here, search people. So what I want to do, I'll just add a new step at the end. And then what I will do, I'll just pick an element here. I can also hover this guy and then pick anything here. But in this case, I just want to do search people. So it will actually take the screenshot of that search people. And then I would like to type here. And I will just type Frontkom. And if I save this guy, after checking overview, it will actually type Frontkom right there, if that makes sense. So let's say you want to add something on the page. This is how easily you can actually do it. You can actually do it here as well. So it will jump here. You can do anywhere, if that makes sense. Let's say you added anything else, or you want to click on remind me. Let's just do that as well. So I want to add a step here, and I'd like to pick an element here, and then click remember me. I'll just save this one. And then, so after password, we will click remember me and then sign in. So I will just run this test. I actually queued it on phone. It's fine, I think. Oh, this is actually at the end. Okay, yeah, it will take some time. So last name, email, wait for the email. So the only reason we are doing these things, it's actually very easy for you to create the tests. And also it's very easy for you to actually update them. And we don't want you to spend more time on testing because it's a little bit boring. And then we will enter our email address here and click remember me. And we'll click sign in. As you can see, we can actually add a step in between, and then we'll click sign in. We'll check overview, and then on the search box, we will write Frontkom, as you can see. So I didn't do anything. I didn't open my browser. I didn't go to that step. So yeah, this is, we just want to make sure it's so easy for you. That's all.
Excellent.
Do you guys have any other questions that I can answer on our platform?
Well, that's awesome. Do you want to just touch briefly on how it compares to other tools like Cypress?
Yes. Do you guys want to see the code, or do you guys want to see how the timeline looks, if that makes sense? If you get into code, that might actually take more time, but
okay, perhaps go for the quick version.
Yeah, let's just do the quick version. I don't think we have more time. So I have actually created the page to actually explain this very easily. So I would like to show you the timeline. So when Mike decides to use Selenium for their testing frameworks before sprints actually begin, he has to, say he has to put it in the stories if they're using like agile stuff. And in sprint 1, actually Charlie and John will set up the infrastructure for Selenium. And then that's not going to be done obviously in sprint 1. What they're going to do, they will actually create the project they will also create the farm as well, the virtual machines that they are going to run this tests on, if they want to run on parallel, if that makes sense. And then best case scenario, they will be able to finish it in sprint 2, hopefully. And then after that, every engineer can automate 2 tests every day if there are no tests that needs to be fixed. So if that makes sense, so let's say we have changed that first name input. If somehow the UI actually changed or something has changed on that selector, instead of having multiple selectors like PreFlight, they have one selector, and Selenium doesn't understand the context of the page, if that makes sense. So we understand the context of the page. Even though UI changes, we adapt to those changes as well, if that makes sense. And then they can actually get the 30% test coverage in sprint 9. So that will actually take a lot of time. A test, actually, automating a test takes around 2 to 3 hours every day. And then if you want to set up your GitLab, and that's also a struggle, you have to learn, and then how I can trigger this, how I set up everything with this infrastructure. And then when you're actually ready to go, when you run a test, it will actually fail. So some will fail because this is what happened at ShipBob. When we created 20 tests on orders page, and then some other team actually added a new button in the orders page, and if everything just broke, like those 20 tests actually broke, let's say, we had to go there and then fix all of them, and then you have to retry and then repeat, actually. So that's what's happening. And when you want to deploy something, it is sometimes urgent. And when these things happen, you either bypass or you go back and then test manually. And you cannot cover all the scenarios, if that makes sense. All the browsers, all the screen sizes, you can only do on one browser and one thing, if that makes sense. And if you want to use PreFlight, you can actually start using, and you can create 5 non-flaky tests, so it will not break when there's a UI change in 10 minutes, hopefully. And then when you invite Charlie and John, you can actually get to 30% test coverage in sprint 1 in 2 weeks, hopefully, if you actually spend time with PreFlight completely. And integrating with any CI/CD pipeline in minutes. I also help companies setting up their sprint CI/CD pipelines in place. We want to make sure everything is actually working. And you can actually get to 90% test coverage very quickly because there's no ending cycle, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's the quick overview. I don't know if you, with this Cypress, the main difference is Cypress doesn't have parallelism on this case. And then you still have to actually generate a code real quick. I don't know if I have it. So there's like Cypress Recorders as well for Chrome extension. I can quickly show it to you. If I add that. Yeah, this is not that great, but if I go back to cabin.hr real quick. So I'm not even going to do sign up because I don't think that is possible with this extension right here. This is the Cypress extension. So this is actually going to create a code for us. So if I get here, and then if I just type m.preflight.com, and then I'll just put my password and sign in. And then, yeah, there's no assertion on this one. So we just have to stop the recording and copy to the clipboard. But as you can see, it actually picked the wrong selector. So it actually picked focus visible, but focus visible is not on the page, on that page. I don't know if you have actually time real quick, maybe. I thought I had something called Cypress, but yeah, okay. Maybe we cannot go over it, but yeah, as you can see, this actually picked focus visible. So what I want to do, I can actually go back and log out and inspect this guy right here. And if I get to focus visible, it won't be on the page. So you have to actually type it, manually. So when it is focused, actually, it is actually when you actually focus on it, if that makes sense. So I'll just inspect this guy and make sure, yeah, this one is actually active focus or something. And then we can actually find it. I mean, we still cannot find it. Yeah, there was something here. I forgot how to do it, but yeah, you can actually say stay focused or something. So as you can see, so that's the difference. You still need to go back and actually generate the CSS selectors, etc. So in this case, I would probably create the selector with type. So it would actually find the type email selector, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's the actually main difference with Cypress. Yeah, those recorders are actually not that great as great as PreFlights.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. But of course, also there are some upsides to being a cloud-based solution. Like you said, you can run different things in parallel, and you have email sign-up stuff.
Yeah. In order to do that email integration with Cypress, you actually need to set up something, a webhook, and it will call a server, and then it will actually tell you, okay, I got the email. Here's the email. Open the email, and then click on it. It's we have done it for you. I mean, you don't have to do it again, if that makes sense. Go ahead. Sorry, Per.
Okay, just one more question. Can you do like some visual testing or accessibility testing?
So right now, actually, everyone is doing this way. Everyone is actually comparing the whole screenshot, but we don't actually want to do that, if that makes sense. Right now, we know the context of each page. So we have something called context parser. So this is an internal tool. When we do this one, we can actually parse the page. It is actually parsing the page, but in this case, I don't actually have the latest one. So what we are going to do actually is we are going to compare. We know that this is the email address. Right now we don't have it, but I'd like to answer this question. So we know that this is right here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to compare the email address input with the email address, and then see if there's any difference. Oh yes, there is something wrong. What's wrong? Okay, email address actually slipped a little bit on left or something like that. So we can actually tell those things and then figure out what's going on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if I can show it to you, maybe I can show it to you. 1 second. It would actually make more sense. So we have something this. I'll probably create an article in future. Okay, parse with borders. I think there are some errors. Okay. Oh, I actually, 1 second. I can actually fix this one real quick. I am showing something in our development to show you how it actually looks. I'm not developing, by the way. I'm just working with my engineers. I know almost everything. So if I do this, if I refresh this guy, yeah, as you can see, so I clicked on parse with borders. We know that this is sign into your account box, and we know this is a form right here, and this form is actually related to sign into your account. So even though this changes, we actually understand, and then when something actually slips a little bit, and then there's like margin left minus or something, we will actually determine that, and then it will tell you under form sign in, the email input doesn't look correct, if that makes sense. So that's the something that is coming up next. and also as well as API testing. We don't have those things at the moment. But API testing is also going to be easy as well. How? Under test settings, actually, if we go to any test result, there's a video. We actually have all the network calls right here. So when you actually hit sign up, there's actually an API call is happening, right? So we are going to let you pick from these calls and automatically fill out the API testing part as well, if that makes sense. So in this case, that would be either authenticate or sign up. It's probably, I'm not sure actually. Okay. Yeah, you can actually see it here. So we can actually automate and take these guys and also do API testing as well. So we have 2 minutes. I don't know if that was clear. I kind of jumped all the places. Sorry, I'm a little bit excited about these things, but yeah, that's about it.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here.